You're asking yourself about your special someone, your sweetheart, your desired partner. Will it open his eyes to the fact that I mean something to him? Will it open his eyes to the fact that he loves me? Will it open his eyes to the fact that he wants to be with me? Is anything happening in that direction? Maybe things have been going back and forth for a long time already. Either you're in contact or you have no contact at all. And that's where things are so uncertain for you. Even if there's no contact at all, will it eventually open his eyes? Because you feel there's still something there. There is something. Somehow it's not over yet, that's what you feel. But the 3D reality is showing you something different. And that's what we're going to take a look at now. We're tapping into the energy of the present moment. The most prominent energy that wants to reveal itself here in the collective, and collective readings are gender neutral, the person cards. That's your counterpart, whether male or female. And a collective reading can't resonate with everyone, but I know you'll take from it what fits your situation. So let's just take a look now. A very, very warm hello, a truly wonderful, loving hug to all of you, and I hope you're all doing well. I'm sending you lots of light and love. You are wonderful, every single one of you. And please never forget, no matter what happens, you are the most important person in your life. And take out those little things, whether from the past or from today, for which you are grateful. And treat yourself to something as well. It's also very, very important that you look after yourself. Give yourself a hug now and then. And as I said, simply allow yourself something nice. Time for yourself. So, and now let's take a look at your special someone to see if their eyes will be open towards you. So, okay, I think we already had this one recently, maybe even yesterday. So the cross seems to be coming up quite a bit here, but it also shows a strong energy, one that is really showing up more often in the collective right now. And your special someone, your counterpart, is really under a lot of pressure. And I would say these are really karmic burdens, karmic entanglements. And for your special someone, your counterpart, these are lessons to be learned. He has them very, very clearly. And this is something immensely important, these lessons, this process, this test that leads to progress. And yes, what is also being shown is that the tasks he has, that something is happening within him, that something is already being dealt with, being worked on. The lesson wants to be worked through. There really is quite a burden here, isn't there? And yes, I also think to myself, maybe this has been going on for quite some time between the two of you, that there are always periods of withdrawal or something like that. Wow. Right? I think the cards definitely speak for themselves here. They couldn't be any clearer. This is about you. And we're here to see whether it opens his eyes when it comes to you. And there's still something there. There's a lot of movement. You keep him busy. His love for you is on his mind. And we are on this journey here. What is being worked through has to do with his love for you. So clearly, this is about you. And that doesn't mean it's only about you just because the cards show it this way, but it does make it very clear that you're on his mind too. So it's not that he's forgotten you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be right here, directly and immediately, if we look at it figuratively, next to him. And above all, it's about love. The love, the connection to you, and the attraction. So we're not just talking about a little crush or something like that, because this is about a lasting love. So I would also say, if you've already been in a relationship before, if you've really known each other for a while, the getting to know each other phase, something has happened there. No matter, as I said, what is showing or has shown itself here in the 3D, that is, what is it that's going on inside him? We truly have deep love for you, genuine affection, and there is inside him something is most definitely, unmistakably moving him here because of you, the special connection with you. Maybe you have a lot of understanding, have always been very understanding, and have always put your own needs in the background. But with your special someone, it's really about, yes, the affection for you, your warmth, this deep understanding. Something is definitely occupying his mind. And you can also see quite clearly that he is increasingly moving into this area of romance, of genuine romantic feelings. So he keeps switching into that with you again and again. But now let's take a look, because we have a burden here, and the issue is that he's not really getting going, right? Let's take a look. Let's take a closer look at what else is coming up here in this reading, because there are a few things that really stand out to me, and I want to make sure I explain them as clearly as possible. First of all, one thing I can say with absolute certainty right at this moment is this. If you're wondering about someone who hasn't reached out to you in a long time, or if you're thinking about a person who's been absent from your life for quite a while, the cards are definitely showing something about that situation. I always like to remind people that the cards tend to reveal everything that's important, even if it's something you might not have expected to come up. So if you find yourself asking, why hasn't this person contacted me? Why has it been so long since we last spoke? What's keeping them from reaching out? Those are exactly the kinds of questions that are being addressed here. The energy in this reading is really highlighting those connections that have faded or gone quiet, and it's encouraging you to think about why that might be. Maybe there's a reason for the distance, or perhaps there's something unresolved that needs your attention. Whatever the case, the cards are bringing this to the surface for a reason, and it's worth considering what it means for you right now. We already have the message here. The withdrawal is ending, it's moving into communication. So I'm telling you clearly that communication will resume no matter how long it has taken. We also have the more distant past here as well. And I really see a huge burden with your loved one here. So it's not just a little something, but there's really something seriously wrong here. And his inner world looks absolutely catastrophic, right? So what I really see here is a state of absolute inner turmoil. I'm honestly, genuinely, totally suspicious of his luck. He doesn't believe in happiness at all anymore. Everywhere he looks, left, right, forward, backward, in every direction, there are blockages and difficulties. And I actually see him completely immersed in sorrow. But that's also what he's hiding, what he's been hiding all along, and maybe has repeatedly hidden in the past as well, what's really going on inside him. I see him as extremely closed off, especially when it comes to feelings or even talking about problems, his own problems, the real ones, what's truly happening inside him. I've always seen him withdrawing, completely insecure, full of doubt. He actually feels completely small. According to this reading, as I see the overall picture here, he actually feels like a failure. He doesn't get anything at all. Maybe he shows you or others on the outside. What you notice is that he acts like, yeah, wow, everything's under control, everything's great, fantastic, wonderful, right? So here, it's absolutely clear to me, my loved one is definitely showing something completely different on the outside than what's really going on inside him. Inside, I see this total inner turmoil. I sense the sadness, the worries, the sorrow. And I also feel very strongly that he is really caught up in his emotions, that he is preoccupied with the topic of loss. That's a major issue. Loss, the loss of people, the loss of relationships. Now, if you might say, no, that's not how I see him at all, or that's not how I got to know him, not so emotional or anything like that. But that's exactly what he has been hiding all this time, among other things. And now it's coming to light for him because this is a really big issue. The heaviness, the loss of people, the loss of relationships. Because deep down, he feels completely alone. And ran away. Yes, maybe he kept running away all this time and didn't want to see this or that. So in that sense, he kept fooling himself again and again, over and over. But now he simply can't escape from it anymore. This situation he's in, it's always the same repetition, like a never-ending loop, always repeating. He never wanted to see it. People, I mean, they heard from other people, other relationships, that he was taken advantage of, you know. I mean, well, he's not exactly an innocent angel either, you know, at least not from what I see here. And a bit of a rascal, that's also part of who he is. So, you know. But he also didn't want to see it. Now, oh, it's fine. Everything's okay, right? He always just brushed it all off like that. But that's definitely not the case anymore. Because what has also been there for a long time, that's his love for you. It's showing itself again. I see the consistency, the steadiness of love, and I also see with him now that more and more this sense of loss over a person is coming through. Like I said, no matter how long you might not have had contact, or how long this whole thing between you has been dragging on and going in circles. With this person close to your heart, I see that he is communicating more with himself and really feels just how desperate he actually is. Above all, the longing he feels. He feels alone, no matter if he now has a lot. Even if you say at the moment you're constantly on the go here and there and everywhere, or maybe there's even someone else. No matter what you see on the outside, his inner self is telling you the complete opposite. He is alone. He might like that. That's just on the surface, yes. But inside, he is completely empty. And maybe it always worked before, always managed to distract himself, going out, other women, men, whatever. But now it's different. Now nothing is the way it used to be. Because now he is going through a change. He's also experiencing things he might have always pushed aside in the past. For some people, even life-changing experiences. And now all of that is catching up with him completely. And now he actually feels that he is searching for that closeness, that harmony, that he wants it, that he misses it. And the harmony, the deep sense of security, the genuine connection, the comforting closeness, the unwavering confidence, that's what you always, always gave him. And now he longs for that. He's realizing that more and more. And regarding the question of whether this will open his eyes towards you when it comes to his feelings, to what you have always given him, no matter what was going on between the two of you. Or, as your question is in this case, whether it will open his eyes. Yes, it definitely will, because I see an opening of the eyes, an opening of the heart. The closeness you always gave him, that warmth, the harmony, that sense of security, that's what he misses. And it's something he can no longer give himself with material things or with other people, parties, or anything like that. There's nothing left that makes him happy or gives him fulfillment. No, nothing at all anymore. He's actually moved completely away from material things and into his heart, into longing. And that definitely has to do with you. And that's where the connection is, because he's communicating more and more with himself. I see here a complete transformation, a turning point, healing. He or she is going fully into healing, also wants reconciliation with you, wants the connection. And here I'll say, just like I mentioned at the very beginning, the contact between the two of you will definitely happen again. And a big change, for him, it's a major transformation. So, well, let me put it this way. When I look at the conversations between the two of you, which will definitely happen again, you'll notice it in the voice. In the voice, or maybe in certain phrases, you'll feel it too, because you have an incredible amount of feeling. And you sense a lot of energy from your loved one, even when you're not in contact. And you will feel, no matter whether he writes something or says something, whether it's a voice message, a phone call, or meeting in person, that there is a lot of love and warmth in his voice. But also this feeling as if you just want to hug him right away because of this helplessness, a bit helpless. Like a child who simply just wants to be held. That sadness. And that's when you can feel how soft he becomes or how soft he is. And that's not an illusion for you, where you might think we're imagining something. No, not at all. You can feel it. And when you see each other in person, you'll see it in his eyes. That sadness too, that emptiness. And then you'll also notice when you have contact that things always change a little, that he becomes a bit more cheerful again, that a bit more lightness and joy for life returns. And that's you, that's your energy. And it will definitely open his eyes, because we have a lot of heart-to-heart connection. And now he's entering that space as well. But I saw him more, yes, out and about, maybe invited here or there or something like that. But I saw him as more withdrawn and turned inward, also in his communication with others. So when he says something, it's just like, yeah, you kind of have a direction there, with others. But he doesn't really open up to anyone, yes. And if he does open up to someone, it's you, because you really are his closest confidant. So what else do we have here? Yes, I think that's really great now. That fits perfectly here once again. And here a phase is coming to an end. And that is also moving completely into healing. This sadness, this lack of joy that we mentioned earlier, is showing up here again. But he or she will also find redemption themselves, will go through this transformation because nothing is really moving forward at the moment. And this person is just treading water here, and they've been stuck in place so many times now that they've practically worn a real hole downwards, But they'll get out of it again, guaranteed, So right now, he is completely in a resting phase, in part even like a forced period of rest. But I think it's very good that things are at rest now, because that's when movement comes in. I see this resting as him being thoughtful with an opening of the heart. And then that's when his strength returns. And through this period of rest, he will fully regain his power and strength, and he'll finally be able to really show his claws to others when necessary. And he will fight for it. He will truly, genuinely fight for love, because for him, personally, there's a lot at stake here, much more than anyone else might realize. And this important period of rest truly and deeply allows him to know exactly what he wants. And what he wants more than anything is you, and it is love. It's the opening of the heart. Yes, it will definitely open his eyes, because that's rooted in the past. Those are his or her issues. It definitely has to do with the past. And I have to say, it already gives the impression here that he really will fight for you. Of course, whether you want all of this is entirely up to you. Or you might say, yeah, I'll just take a look at all of this for now. And you always decide for yourself because, as I said, you are the most important person in your life. And now I'm sending you a big, big hug, wishing you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day and all the very best.